I think this has been a difficult week. Thank you for the beautiful poetry. I do think I the idea of growing is wonderful, but unfortunately we have this cycle of war to fight injustice, and I'm having a hard time dealing with that. I do want to do a poem I wrote last year on some of the injustice against the Palestinians to give them a little bit of a flooring for the horrors of this week. Assault on Masafer Yatta, and this is, of course, only one of many things that we can ascribe to the injustice of the Palestinians. Israeli Supreme Court demands expulsion of 1,200 Palestinians from 8 villages in Masafer Yatta, land they have lived on and cultivated for centuries. In spite of appeals for 20 years, their land will be confiscated for military training, for guns and destruction of the land by people with no right to Palestinian property, people who are also building 4,000 new settlement units in Palestinian West Bank, posing entitlement as camouflage to robbery. Robbery begun long ago, robbery continued for a century, robbery of 28 villages in this small area, robbery of altogether 530 villages, robbery and expulsion of over 700,000 Palestinians. Palestinians who have tended their livestock, their livelihood on this land, this their homes, their property, their source of food, water, education, hospitals, community, and life. Life for them, their elders, their children, for generation upon generation. The homes of Masafer Yatta destroyed for at least the third time, their agriculture and farms ruined, so Israel can build firing zones, further threatening the lives of their Palestinian victims, wrapping a noose around the human rights of those they illegally occupy, hanging a populace with the noose of injustice and tyranny with impunity, the same impunity enjoyed by Israel for the murder of Shireen Abu Akleh, journalist, May 26, 2022, with a bullet to her head. The same impunity vested on an Israel continuing its assault on Palestinian property owners, owning and land that Israel covets and robs, but will never own. That I wrote some time ago, as I said, and we know that we are facing some of the results of this kind of tyranny by an occupier. But my next one has to do with the global injustice of refugees called wanderers. 100 million displaced people wander this earth in search of food and shelter, in search of homes, wrecked by war and poverty, capitalist bombs, colonial legacy, evicted from their lives, their homes, communities and work, families and sustenance, evicted from love, from houses turned to rubble, from villages stolen by predators, taken and destroyed multiple times, just to be sure the wanderer will wander again. Displaced people form in lines for food, or battle, dust, or drown in frail boats, evicted from their lives, built on generations, ripped from homes and families, from fragile nations, torn by war, eviscerated by greed. They line up for food or care or shelter. The pregnant women, the man whose bleeding knee needs bandaging, the child who cannot find her parents, the young adult without a job, without a country, without family. Crowds of people move northward, mourning lost friends and family, mourning their lost lives. 100 million wanderers line the streets, the sand, the oceans, line borders marked with barbed wire or impenetrable walls as they seek hope, as they seek home. And I am ending with the assault of earth on the air, really. The cacophony of sound, the fact that we have so much artificial light, that this is really endangering species and nature. A cacophony of sound and light. Stars look down on a blue world. Stars look up in a blue world. Yet its blue is lit extraordinarily, lit with artificial light as nighttime draws its cloak around the earth, yet cannot darken the planet, seen from the sky as daytime, obfuscating messages of stars and moon. Stars look down and up at earth, yet cannot hear the cacophony of human sound, emanating from an earth artificially lit, sounds drowning out communications of bats and birds, sounds obfuscating messages of animals, messages necessary to their survival. Stars shine through millions of light years, providing for Earth both directions and beauty. Yet the light and sound of Earth makes of nighttime a daytime of noise and light, threatening all life. Who must navigate with sound, or find their way by the fire of stars and moon, or hide under the cloak of night, often invisible under a cacophony of both sound and light. Thank you very much. Thank you.
A cacophony of sound and light. One moment here. They try to grasp with four hands